My name is Luce. I'm married. I have 5 children, 2 boys and 3 girls, ages 17 to 7. And we have 1 dog, a Great Dane. She's bigger than most of my children, so my house is always full of action. My favorite recording artist is probably Casting Crowns. I just enjoy a lot of their music. Their lyrics are very relatable to me. My favorite song tends to change from week to week. It's usually not a Casting Crowns song. It's just something that I hear that in that moment, in that time period, and whatever I'm dealing with at the time that speaks to me. Recently, I really love listening to God is Able. It's a Hillsong song, and Chain Breaker by Zach Williams. Just great songs. My favorite cereal is Cocoa Pebbles. Childhood was adventurous. Grew up in the country and spent most of my free time rambling through the woods or playing in the creek with my older brother and younger sister. I grew up in a single parent home. I like to say that I did it before it was fashionable. So had all the challenges associated with that. But it definitely gave me a perspective. I think that has helped me in various ways as I've grown older. My first recollection of being in church is probably my first recollection period. My grandfather was my pastor, so I grew up in the church and every Sunday, and tent meetings and VBS, and probably some of those early VBSs, doing the Father Abraham dance and singing the songs. Probably some of my first memories. I can still tell you every one of my Sunday school teachers' names. One of my favorite is the parable of the owner of a vineyard who hires men in the morning, and they come and they work, and he hires some in the middle of the day, and then he goes back and he hires some more, and he hires some at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, when they line up for their pay, he pays them all the same. And some people get upset because the people that came in at the end got paid the same. And but to me, it's a beautiful picture of God's grace and His love, and just how His economy and His mindset is often vastly different from the world's. I was 5 or 6, and we were coming home from some evening event at church, and I asked my mom a couple questions about what I had heard. I was, like I say, 5 or 6, so I didn't quite understand everything. So I asked what it meant to be saved, and so she very briefly explained, what that meant. And you invite Jesus into your heart, into your life, and I didn't even tell her, but right there in the back of my mom's Chevy Nova, at the age of 5 or 6 years old, I said, that's what I want, and I asked Jesus into my life. And I don't know how long it was before she actually found that out, but and there were times of recommitment and confirming that as I grew up. The time when I felt the most doubt or distance from God, probably after college, my or early to mid-20s, as I was finishing up college and just floundering a little bit and just not quite knowing what direction to go. I don't think that doubt is a great word to for me to use, but maybe distance, certainly. I am thankful that at a young age I made the decision that Jesus Christ is Lord, and that kept me pretty closely tethered as I grew up, even as I wandered, even as I struggled. That was a great benefit to me, and the heritage of that I received from my family, and the support that I received from my family really kept me closely tethered, I guess is the best way for me to say it. And but certainly there was plenty of distance and wandering on my part. If there's one instance or incident in my life that I really thank God for, it's meeting my wife. I was 29 when we met, and it changed my world. It was recently our anniversary, and I said it was the best earthly decision I ever made to marry my wife. And I can think of a time maybe 5 or 6 years ago when watching the movie Courageous with some friends and talking with some guys afterwards and deciding that there is a better way to do life than to just wing it on your own. And it's important to have support structure. It's important to have people, in my case, men, brothers, that walk with you and you can talk to and you could be open with, you can encourage, that can encourage you, and that can help keep you on track and keep you on target. And we started a men's ministry. We started a small group, a couple of them actually, and I've been in that same small group for 5-6 years now, and it's developed some relationships that that are important for me now and will be for the rest of my life. If I had to tell someone why I'm a Christian, I would have to say it's because God's touched my life, He's touched my heart, and I know that He is real, that He is Lord, that He loves me, that He's forgiven me, and that God sent His Son to die on the cross as payment for my sin. And I know it's been confirmed in my heart, in my mind, time and time again, that He's real and that He is the ultimate power and the ultimate love and the ultimate everything in the universe. Recently, God has just been impressing upon me that even though I stumble, even though sometimes life is difficult, regardless of situation or circumstance, He cares for me, and He's faithful. It's easy to get distracted by life, things going on, difficult situations, but really lately He's just really been impressing on me that I've got you. Just keep following. Just keep going. And I'm never going to be done growing. I've learned that. not going to get to a point where I figured it all out and I live a perfect life. It's not going to happen. Which is one of the amazing things about life, that we can continue to grow and experience God in new and exciting ways. Even for me, 34 years after giving my heart to Jesus, he can still surprise you, and he still almost on a daily basis. I kind of made it a habit to just reflect on the wonder of who God is, and whether it's in his creation, or whether it's thinking about his love for me, or whether it's looking at the faces of my children and just understanding that as much as I love my child, God loves them more. God loves me more, which is almost incomprehensible. But taking time, taking moments to just stand in awe of who God is. My name is Luce, and this is my story.
We understand you got one of your questions wrong, so could you?
I got my favorite cereal. I was just grasping at straws and said Cocoa Pebbles, but it's s'more cereal. There's no doubt. S'more cereal is the best cereal.